right, my third. And since I said I'm cheating, I'm going to go ahead and add an honorable mention of a movie. I'm going to go with The Matrix 4 as my honorable mention for obvious reasons. I mean, we grew up watching that, right? And I'm one of the few people that actually really enjoyed all three movies. I know some people hated The Matrix Revolutions. I really liked it. I don't know what happened at the end. Sometimes there's a lot of cliffhangers, I know, and I think this is why they created The Matrix 4. Is just like, no, we want to wrap up a bunch of these. Kind of a disappointed that Lawrence Fishburne isn't going to be in there, but I think it's. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I think it's because he's really old now, like compared to what he was then.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that Morpheus look anymore.
Yeah, you just don't look like Morpheus. You look like Grandpa Morpheus now. So speaking of shows that I've never seen that I'm like, I might as well watch them all at one time. I'm actually going to include this one as my third one, which is I've never seen the first, second, or third season, but it stars a bunch of people that I like, obviously, especially Bateman. I forgot his first name.
Jason Bateman. Yeah.
Jason Bateman. Ozark season 4 is supposed to come out. I'm just going to probably start watching all the seasons prior to season 4 coming out and then just knock up the whole entire series at one time. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've heard it's like Breaking Bad mixed in with, I forgot what other show they said, but kind of Breaking Bad-ish, right? That kind of gives me an idea of what it might be about. I really don't know enough about it, but it's Jason Bateman. And it just, if they have 4 seasons and they're actually wrapping it up, that's why I have to wait with a lot. I don't know if you try to do this, wait with some Netflix shows, just because sometimes they just cancel them out of nowhere. And it's just kind of, it's mad annoying. I'm like, you're your own production company. Why can't you at least just do a wrap-up episode? Which they've done on some shows, right? I haven't seen the show yet, but the one for the Wachowskis show, what was it called?
Sense8?
Yeah, that one. Remember they canceled it, but then they just let them do a movie to wrap everything up. So it's kind of like, you could do that with any show. But Ozark season 4 is the last season, so I'm going to watch that. That's going to be my number 3.
Okay. I know I said I was going to stick to shows, but I just thought about this one as my number 3. Mortal Kombat, which is coming out on HBO Max and theaters. I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. We talked about it last week on our video games top 5.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all that needs to be said about that. Mortal Kombat is coming out, and I want to see what Warner Brothers does with it.
That's an honorable mention, sir. I need you to do a number 3, a 3 on show.
No, it's good. That's my number 3.
Because you don't have a third one.
Yeah, that's my number 3. I have 2 more.
Okay, all right. So my honorable mention, movie wise. So my number is no longer an honorable mention. I'm doing 2 lists while Zeno's doing 1. This is 4, right? We're on 4 now. Yeah. A Quiet Place 2.
Okay.
It took a long ass time for me to watch the first one. I actually watched it post-pandemic, and I didn't realize how freaking, honestly, A Quiet Place. I'm not a huge fan of like horror movies. I don't know if that could be called a horror movie or a suspense thriller or whatever. As far as those kind of movies go, A Quiet Place might actually be a masterpiece. It's actually really damn good. Again, those type of movies are never in my like. I don't have them in probably my top 50 of movies of all time. I probably would throw this one into one of my top 50s. And maybe even high up there, maybe 25 or something like that. A Quiet Place. So I can't wait for A Quiet Place 2. I really love that afterwards. What's his name? The director and writer and whatever.
John Krasinski.
Yeah. He said that the first one, and after I heard him say this, I realized, I get where he's talking about. He said it was a love letter to his kids. So I just that's one of the reasons why I really like A Quiet Place, the first one. So I can't wait for A Quiet Place 2. But as far as shows goes, number 4, I'm gonna go with Law and Order: Organized Crime. Okay. This is where Stabler comes back after he kind of had an unceremonious departure because it was the actor and the producers didn't agree on money, I guess, and he just kind of departed off screen, which I think was honestly, that's actually really disrespectful to me as far as fans are concerned. And just because you go through 12 seasons through this character and like you just do it off screen because of money, that just doesn't make sense. So they're bringing him back. I think this is kind of an apology to him too, just bringing him back. He's going to do it's a spinoff show from Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Organized Crime. I haven't been a huge fan of the Law and Order's direction since he left the show. I used to like it. I don't know if you I'm sure you watched plenty of Law and Order episodes. You know, I used to like the whole they describe what happened instead of them showing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you kind of get like how cops really get the information. And I just liked that formula. I didn't think it was broke, but then they've kind of gone more into like serialized dramas and mm-hmm. Not a huge fan of that. I don't know if Law and Order Organized Crime is gonna be that way, but I really am looking forward to watching that show just to see what they do with it.
Okay. I like Law and Order, like, picking up an episode here and there. I'm not really a big fan of like procedural shows. Actually, that's probably why it was a little surprising to me that you picked that one, because I feel like you can pick up Law and Order at any point and be fine, as opposed to more serialized shows where it's like there's a story of the season, that there's an overarching theme and there's like a big bad, if you will.
Considering the fact that I always watched Law and Order on TV, and it was usually, honestly, the biggest time where I watched the most, it was like, you're randomly going out through the day, and at 8 o'clock they have a show on USA Network.
Yeah.
You could watch that, and like you said, pick it up. I could watch that show. I don't need to know anything about what's going on. They might have clues of like little stuff that happened in previous episodes, but you really don't have to know the gist of it. Whereas most shows now you have to watch.
Yeah, I prefer those kind of shows where
I do too, but
something to keep up
for
with.
Law and Order SVU, that's how I liked it. That's how I wanted it. So don't change
it. Okay. We spoke about my number 4 in a previous video as well, and I said that an upcoming season was coming. It's Young Justice season 4 on HBO Max. It's the younger Justice League members, or it's the sidekicks of the Justice League members. They're actually now all grown up because I think there was like a 10-year time jump.
Animation?
Yes, yeah. It's really good. It's better than the Titans series that they have on HBO Max that came from DC Universe, which is live action. That series is kind of crap, but I think Young Justice does it right. If only they could get the live action to be as good as their HBO Max stuff. And actually, I'm gonna throw this as an honorable mention because it was supposed to come out as a series, but now it's a 4-hour movie. The Snyder Cut of Justice League. I thought the movie itself was pretty bad, but from all reports, the Snyder Cut actually makes it make sense and makes it actually pretty good. So I'm looking forward to see what they do there. So honorable mention, Snyder Cut, Justice League.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think the Snyder Cut is probably Zack Snyder's last attempt at showing that we weren't tricked by 300. Because ever since 300, people are just like, yo, do you just have one formula, one shtick that you just been sticking to and you just kind of can't translate over? I'm not going to lie, I loved Man of Steel, but then I realized later on, honestly, it was just like a Coke. Like, I really enjoyed the sugar, but then I crashed afterwards after I looked back at it, and I was like, actually, this wasn't as great as I thought it was. There wasn't as much substance as I would have wanted in it, right?
Yeah,
for me.
I think when compared to other movies in that franchise, I think it holds up pretty well. I think the problem is that...
That's not saying much for you talking about DC Universe?
The DCE, yeah. I think the problem is that we watched it and it hit the heights it did. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It hit the heights it did, and we thought, okay, this is leading to something really good for what DC is trying to do.
So you think in retrospect, Man of Steel suffers due to the rest of the movies?
Yes, due to the rest not living up to what we thought.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I think that's what happened. Because honestly, when it came out, I said it was one of my favorite superhero movies of all time, like off the bat. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, I wouldn't say 8. I'd say 6.5 maybe, as far as like as much I like it. But like top greatest movies would be 8 or 9. So
okay, cool.
All right. So my last honorable mention will not be a movie; it actually will be a show. I'm gonna say again, we touched on Dustin Diamond passing away, right? That was an impactful thing from our childhood. One of the other big things from my childhood is the Mighty Ducks. I used to love the Mighty Ducks. They're coming out with a TV show. Emilio Estevez is coming back. I hope Josh Jackson's gonna come back. I don't know if Goldberg will be able to come back just because he has some issues going on, right? But I hope they bring back a bunch of like the Smash Brothers and all those. So definitely the Mighty Ducks is probably up there. It actually should be in my top 5, like the 5 overall, not even an honorable mention. I'm really looking forward to this show. But I will say this is my number one. Like we're not ranking them, but I would say this is number one. Stranger Things season 4. That is I actually am probably gonna go back and watch all the other seasons again. I usually don't. I just go straight into season, like the new season. I might go back and go through season 1 through 3 in anticipation for season 4. And I rarely do that, but I'm really looking forward to Stranger Things season 4.
It's funny you ended on a Netflix show because that's where mine ends as well. Umbrella Academy season 3. I think season 2 ended on a really good cliffhanger, and it was one of those where it wasn't like, oh, we have to know how this story wraps up. No, season 2 wrapped up their storyline pretty well. I think it was a good 2-season arc that they had going on between seasons 1 and 2. Wrapped that up pretty well. But then where they end up just at the very end of season 2 makes you really excited for what they do with season 3. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious to see how they how they write in Elliot Page, yeah, his transition and all that stuff. So I'm curious to see what they do with that. But just outside of that, Umbrella Academy is a really good show, and I'm curious.
Never seen it.
I'm looking forward to season 3.
Actually, that's a lie. Yeah. I have seen it. My wife watched it, and okay. I sat down and watched it a few times. I might knock it out. I'm gonna knock it out too. Okay. As far as the Elliot Page thing, I would think, is Elliot Page opposed to still playing women though?
I don't know.
You know? So I mean, like, do you really have to change the character? But there might be. I mean, like, creators do creative things, so that'd be very interesting to see. I did not know, by the way, that was based off a comic book, and he's an executive producer of Gerard Way, who's from My Chemical Romance. Who, during my emo phase, My Chemical Romance was one of my favorite bands of all time. So, anyways, all right, hey, there we go. That's our top 5 most anticipated shows of 2021 after the long January month.